Okay, a little bit more about editing. This is a photo that I shot, and there's several things wrong with it. One thing that's pretty obvious is it's too dark, and also the bird is too much in the middle. And this is what'll happen to me a lot when I shoot. I generally don't get the perfect cropping while I'm shooting, unless I'm using manual focus, and my eyes are not that good nowadays. So the first thing I want to do is crop the photo so there's not too much space above or behind the bird. So I'm going to get kind of the center point of his body into the rule of thirds, and it leaves, a nice distance behind him. It's not like he's cut off right behind his tail, and that looks pretty good. Now, what I want to do here is I could crop this out, but I think it's going to make everything a little too tight on the composition. In fact, let me show you. And again, I think it leaves him a little bit too much in the middle, although some people might disagree with me. But I want to get rid of this. So I'm going to go to a tool that I talked to you about before. I might have even demonstrated it. But it's another way to take things out of a photo other than using the spot healing brush or the clone stamp tool. And I just selected the lasso tool, and we're going to find out together if this works or not. I just circled that. And what I'm going to do is hit the backspace key on my keyboard. It's going to bring up the content aware dialog box. And it says content aware. We want normal blending opacity 100%. Now, I was fortunate this time that that worked. Sometimes it just won't work correctly, and you'll start getting weird things down in here. Another thing that you might not notice because the photo is so dark, but I've got a dust spot right here. So there was a dust spot on my sensor. And again, I'm showing you exactly how I edit. Sometimes there's variations on that, but it's very similar to what I do almost every time. So I'm going to use the spot healing brush to get rid of that dust spot. And the next thing I'm going to do is bring up the brightness on the photo and see if I can get more detail. So there are several things you can do. One is image adjustments, brightness contrast. Using brightness contrast, the first thing I would do on this, because I'm not really sure about the contrast, is raise up the brightness some. So now you can see the bird's eye and the head, which is receiving more sunlight than the rest of the image, but it's kind of losing the blue sky. And that might be a trade-off I have to make. So I'll try using a different tool here. Image adjustments. Let me try levels. Okay, on levels, you can see on the histogram here that the brightness or the highlights slider is right off the graph. Okay, so I want to bring that in, kind of like it's a sailboat, and I want to bring it in so it's touching the edge where it begins to go up. Then I can play with the mid-tone slider to make the photo brighter. As you can see, again, I'm going to be losing a lot of the detail in the shadows, although that might not be so bad. So that would be another way. And then a third way would be to go to Image Adjustments, Shadows Highlights. And what this does is it brings up the shadows automatically and darkens the highlights. But here I got the best view of the bird right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I've still got some nice blue sky in there. And then to get things looking a little better, I might try to go back and first try image adjustment vibrance and see if I can bring out some more color in the photo without ruining it. What I normally do is go all the way up. And you can see here that it looks like his feathers are starting to turn green in there. And well, he could be a green heron, I don't know, but I'm going to back off a little bit just a little bit more on the colors and try clicking OK. It's not too bad. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what colors those feathers should be, but that's not bad right there. And then if I want to bring even more emphasis to the bird, what I can do is try putting a vignette on there, although I don't think it'll make the photo better. So I'm going to go to Filter, Lens Correction, Custom, Vignette. You usually won't see as many shots like this with vignettes on them as you would see portraits of people. I'm also bringing in the midpoints, but as you can see, it looks a little awkward here. So let me just click OK and see what happens. Okay, that does put a little more emphasis on the bird. Still, I'm not so sure I like the way this is happening right here. So I could undo the lens correction and just have the sky like this. So that's not too bad. And the last thing I'm going to try is I'm going to go back to brightness contrast and see what happens if I brighten up the photo just a little bit. Now here's a trade-off. I can see the bird a bit better, but I'm losing a little bit of the color in the sky. So I kind of like what I'm seeing here. I love those red eyes. And that doesn't look too bad. Let me back off and see what I had before. The colors are a little bit richer here. So I'm just going to bring the brightness up a little bit. Oops. Before, after. Eh, I'm just going to go with this one. So that is how you can go from an unedited photo to trying to make it look better, even when it's not perfectly shot to begin with. Remember to save as and give it a new name. That was Heron. This is Heron Edited.